So joining me on the show today, Amy Jones Kane. You know Amy Jones. Everybody knows Amy Jones, but if you don't, you're in for a lot of fun. All right, she is the CEO and founder of Burning Stick Creative, but she and I go back many, many moons ago.
I mean, many, many moons. I like to say we were puppies.
We were puppies,
we
right?
were.
Oh, my gosh, we were such puppies.
I was 13 when I met you.
Oh, my gosh.
I was.
Now, think about that.
Right.
How young, and then we both end up kind of, you know, sort of related to, I'm on this media side, you're kind of on that media side.
Right.
And so you never think, okay, well, you meet these people, I'm going to grow up and kind of work with them a little bit because I end up seeing you all the time.
All the time.
So, all right. So what we're referring to is that was some speech and debate stuff.
High school speech and debate. Yes.
Okay.
I was 13. I think you were, I
I
love
was-
to say you were older.
I was 60.
Yeah.
No.
You were a couple years older than me, but I think we became friends then and have remained friends
Since
32 years.
I just remember you always making me laugh, that you had a wicked sense of humor.
Still
And
do.
like I know.
Still
That's
do.
what's so great. But it's no surprise though that you have this company and, you know, the creative side of you. I mean,
and we do
it's
funny
amazing.
really well. I mean, I would say if you come and say, what is it that you guys do really well?
Mhm.
We do funny really, really well. And then I do emotional
Very,
really,
very
really
well.
well. Yeah. I'm not one that just likes the standard boring, here's
Right. Here's some information.
yeah, here's
kind
some
of thing.
information. That there are a lot of people that do that. I am not one of them. So I tell anybody when they come in to meet with us that if that's what you're looking for, I have a lot of great friends that do really pretty work that I'm happy to refer you to. But I am not going to stay in the box. I never have. So if that's what you want, plenty of box people. But I like to color all over the lines.
Okay, so Amy, where did all of this come from with you? Is it, were you always this outgoing and gregarious even as a young kid?
No, I was
tell me more.
I was painfully
Okay.
shy.
Okay, you and I both.
I was painfully
Painfully
shy.
shy.
I can remember, my mom will die that I'm telling this story, but I can remember in, well, now it would be called pre-K, but it wasn't that when we were there. But it was at Asbury, and it was the things that you went to, Mother's Day out, whatever.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I
yeah.
remember, like, the last day of school that she wanted me to take that picture with the teacher.
Uh-huh.
And I wouldn't give her a
wouldn't-
face
oh.
that was even like, and I can remember I went home and like I got spanked that afternoon because I wouldn't
put on the smiley face?
smiley face, and it was because I was so unbelievably shy that I had to do that.
Unbelievable, because I was that way too. Amy.
Yeah,
Wow.
and people are going to say you're lying, but I'm going to tell you. I still am.
To some extent, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I am the quintessential introvert extrovert. I am very hesitant until I know somebody, and then once I know you, you get it all. Yeah, it all comes flowing out. But and not so much from a work perspective,
Right.
But certainly from a friend relationship perspective, I tread very gingerly in the beginning of friendships.
Wow.
And which is why I say I know a lot of people, but my true friend circle is very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to be.
And I'm
know?
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I really am. I had the same best friends since high school and college up until a year ago, ironically. Well, in the last couple of years. And there's been a couple of really strong, cool, great businesswomen that I have gotten to be truly good friends with. And that has really surprised me. I really have been, I say it all the time. I'm like, wow, I have new friends. And that is, that's been different, but a blessing, no doubt. But, you consider I still had the same close friends from the time I was 16 and then, college. So 18, 19 years old.
Oh,
And
my goodness.
that was it. And then I was, 41 when I met a couple of other people that I would say have become, really close best friends.
Part of your network, your tight network.
Isn't
of
that
friends.
isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's great because I think that shows how you've lived and grown over the years. A lot of people can't say that same thing.
Oh, I absolutely can. And I am, my word that I live by is grace and gratitude. So 2 words, really, if you will. But but I never forget how blessed I am to lead the life I live, number one. But secondly, to be affected by the people that I am affected by. And that is a true gift in this world. It really is.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. So, Amy, you're in the creative business.
Yeah.
So how do you go from being so painfully shy to being such an extrovert? And I mean, I just think that's such a fascinating combination.
Because there were ideas in my head,
and they had to get out.
And they had to get out. I started as a television anchor, and I often say that I loved that Lafayette in 1996. This was before the wave where everybody had a female sports anchor.
Right.
Gave me that shot. And God bless Dick Harbison and John Corbel, bless his soul. That literally took a chance.
They saw your talent
and said, let's do it. And I can remember it always used to make me laugh that John Corbel would sit at the news desk where people would call in with either feedback or news stories and would poll people about how they felt about a woman sports anchor. And I figured that out. So I would call all of my grandmother's friends when I knew he was sitting on that desk. Yes. And I would have them call in and talk about how excited they were to see that local girl anchoring sports.
Girl anchoring the sports.
But I was 21 when that happened.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still go places and people constantly,
want to
talk about that. They do.
That was your name.
They do. I used Avery on the air, not by choice.
Right. Okay.
I was working with ESPN the summer between my junior and senior year. And a couple of the anchors pulled me aside and they're like, look, we see what you can do. We see what's potential for you out there, but you got to change your name.
And you're like, why?
Yeah. It's like, and they're like, because, and at the time, how did you get hired? You sent your VHS tape in. And they would sit in stacks on a news director's desk.
Yes, they would.
And so they told me, they said, if you send a tape with Amy on the spine, they're going to throw it out because nobody looks at women in sports right now. And so at the time, Murphy Brown was my favorite show on the air, and Murphy Brown's son was Avery Brown. I was like, close enough to my name. Let's roll with it.
Let's roll with that.
And so there it was, and that's how it came to be. And I'm going to tell you, when I moved, I did a 100 market jump. When I left Lafayette, I went to Market 17, and I was based in Northern California. I covered all of the major league teams that were up there for years. And I went into the news director's office and I said, look, can I please go back to my real name? I really want to be Amy. Oh, wow. And he looked at me and he said, I did not hire an Amy.
Wow.
I hired an Avery.
Avery.
You will be Avery.
And you will be Avery.
And that was it. So, yeah.
So, all right. So let me ask you this. Did it feel different when people would call? I mean,
okay, now here's what the
Amy
only
Jones.
Thing I liked about it.
Raise your hand. Oh, Avery Jones.
Here's what I loved about it.
Tell me.
We've talked about, how I am regarding friends. If you knew me only as Avery, I knew you weren't really a friend.
Gotcha.
You were a business acquaintance, an associate, but you were not what I would consider a true friend. So it really, it helped.
It helped?
Yeah, it did. It helped. Because, look, you
who.
know as well as I do, being in this business, everybody wants something.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
So it always helped of who were like actual friends that wanted to go have cocktails or wanted to go out to eat because they wanted to hang out, and who was it that they were pitching a story.
Right,
and
exactly.
that always made a difference to me. And being the personality that I was like, well, I have a clear delineator.
I love this. All right. We are getting the chance to catch up with Amy Jones. Amy Jones Kane. She is the CEO and founder of Burning Stick Creative. You probably remember her from doing sports. And then, of course, you were at ESPN 1420.
Yeah,
and
I did a show there for a couple of
too.
years. Yeah, did a show there for when I came back to Louisiana, which I always say, greatest decision I ever made. It was a contract year. And as fun as it was, and I'm telling you, I interviewed and covered every major sporting event in the country, interviewed every major celebrity that you could possibly imagine in the sports world. A great Kobe Bryant story that we could talk about.
Oh, okay. I'm writing that down.
And contract year came up, and the only thing that wasn't out there was my family. And boy, they could say whatever they want about South Louisiana, but these muddy waters run deep in souls.
Indeed. Yeah.
And I knew I just wanted to come home.
Yep.
And, 3 years later, my dad passes away, and I got to spend that last 3 years with him. And I'm going to tell you, and people ask me, do you miss it? Not one day do I ever say that I looked back.
Amen.
It just never... I got to do it. I worked at the pinnacle. I had stories that aired on ESPN. I had stuff that aired on Fox Sports. I was, I was there. I was in the mix. I was in the room where it happens, and it really. I loved my time doing it, but I say that what it did is it prepared me for this unbelievable life that I get to lead.
I love it. Well, Amy Jones Kane is speaking with us today, and we've got more to come.